for Rainier Beach Pride, we got to win another one. So when our kids go to our school, or people that just come to our school, they can just, you know what I'm saying, oh, they won the last state championship was 2002.
Well, the state title is a culmination of 4 years of hard work, and for all the guys, a year that we put in that just been nonstop work and coming together and playing for a state title is the best way you could ever wish to cap it all.
I never won state myself from the experience of high school, so I'm looking forward to that.
Something we've been working for since the beginning of the season when we started at midnight, you know, and something we've been dreaming about since, you know, elementary school.
That's the funnest thing you can ever do. But when you lose, it's like that was the most embarrassing thing in my life when I lost that game. Until now, it's a year later, now I'm standing here, about to play it again. Hopefully I'll win this time.
Well, for my whole life, I've been waiting for this point, you know. I've seen the high schoolers before us when I was in elementary school and middle school winning the state titles, and now dreaming about it and finally getting here. It means a lot, as well as to everyone else on the team.
We are Rainier Beach.
We are Mercer Island.
And we are playing for the state championship.
And we're playing for a state championship.
We are live inside the Tacoma Dome. The Rainier Beach fans, they want to get a win in the championship game. They fell just short a year ago in the finals. They'll hope to avenge last season's championship game loss. It's a different opponent, but it's also a spirited, heated rematch of last week's district championship game. This time, it's all for the state championship as top-ranked Rainier Beach meets Mercer Island for the WIAA 3A Boys Championship. Hi, everybody. We welcome you to Tacoma. Todd Pickett along with Dave Harshman. And Dave, as we said, it was a spirited game a week ago, a lot of intensity, and a rematch now, this one for all the marbles.
Well, there's a rivalry here, but it's not like a rivalry within your league. It's a rivalry because it's a matchup of two separate programs that say, our program is better than your program. We like the way we play. We're going to make you play our way, and we're going to win the game.
There were some moments in that game. We will address those as we go along. Let's look at how Rainier Beach got to tonight's championship game. As we said, in the finals for the second year in a row. The road to the finals brought to you by your Les Schwab dealer. From the Metro, 27-1 overall. They have really cruised to victories in their first three games over Aberdeen, Hanford, and Mark Morris in what many thought would be a matchup for the top two teams. Each team with just one loss coming into the game. And Rainier Beach beating Mark Morris last night to move into the finals. The guy who has had the tournament, of course, for them, maybe the MVP, regardless of whether his team wins or not, is the guy we've got to talk about here.
Well, Nate Robinson is the guy. He's the one that makes the engine go. There's a lot of parts to it, but this guy, he does everything. You look at what he did last night. He's a leading scorer here. He will pick your pocket if you leave the ball on the ground. He can drive and dish. He can defend. He can rebound. And at 5'9", he can get up over that rim a lot better than you and I can on a ladder.
Well, that would number in the millions. Meanwhile, the pressure and intensity always there for Rainier Beach. They have forced tremendous turnovers with their defense throughout the tournament, and they once again have the twin killers. Roderick, he's on the right. Lodrick is on the left. L&R, that only makes sense to me, but the Stewarts have had great tournament as well.
Well, pick your poison. What I really like about them, they bring a maturity to the game that a lot of kids in high school don't have. They can hurt you in a lot of different ways. Not necessarily great three-point shooters, but they're so athletic at getting to the basket. They rebound the ball exceptionally well on the offensive glass. You better cut Rainier Beach off the glass, especially those two guys right there.
As we said, the Vikings in the finals for the second year in a row. John Horton, also part of our crew tonight. Moments ago, he talked to their head coach.
Thanks, Todd. No surprise that Mercer Beach is in the house tonight.
Oh, no, not at all, not at all. Coach Pepple and I talked about it last week, and we were just hoping we get a chance to meet again this Saturday. So, it's time to go.
That game got a little chippy, a little bit physical, but you two guys, a lot of respect going between the two programs.
Oh, definitely, definitely. We're both competitors. Our players are competitors, and, everything that we do is in the nature of good sportsmanship. And, and it was an unfortunate situation what happened with the young man, but, it was purely unintentional. He knows that. We know that. It's behind us, and we're ready to play.
Everybody talks about the Stewart twins, but Nate Robinson is the spark plug that makes this team go.
Well, what people don't understand is not the Stewart twins, they're triplets. Nate's one of them.
The newsflash we didn't know about.
Yeah.
Talk about how he's been playing so well.
Well, you know, he kind of reminds me of Shea that played for Seattle Prep a few years ago, how he took Seattle Prep on his back and, you know, willed them to the state championship, just like Tyler and Maya did last year. Nate's following suit.
Great matchup, and Beach is ready to go. Todd?
Thanks very much, John and Coach Bethea. That's the Rainier Beach story. Let's take a look at how Mercer Island got to this championship game. Again, brought to you by your Les Schwab dealers from the Kingco Conference. And pretty consistent, Harsh, in each one of those games in the mid to upper 50s in the wins over Hazen, West Valley, and Linden.
Well, Ed Pepple's teams will always play execution on offense, very sound game plan on defense. They're going to beat you because they play within their system. They have people they can plug in, but you're going to see a lot of consistency in the program.
As you can tell, most everybody is over the controversy from a week ago when there was a hard foul on this young man, Kevin, middle of the Tempest. But he has come back after missing the first game. He's been taking acupuncture treatments. He's ready to go.
He's done a great job. You see his season statistics. The thing I like about him, more than he can shoot the ball away, he's got a great knack of getting to seams and drawing people in addition to open guys, but he can finish the play to the basket.
For the Islanders to be successful and also handle some of that Rainier Beach pressure, Brandon Burmeister has to have a game tonight.
Brandon Burmeister is the long-range threat, the long-range threat. He can shoot the ball to 30 feet. He's a guy who's just a junior, but if he's on the night, and if they're shooting the ball well as a team away from the basket, it could be a long night for Beach.
We're just about ready to tip it off. It should be a great ball game once again. It was a three-point contest a week ago. Mercer Island and Rainier Beach get set for the boys 3A basketball championship. Starters and tip-off when we come back. The WIAA Dairy Farmers of Washington 3A Boys State Basketball Championship is brought to you tonight by the Dairy Farmers of Washington, proud sponsors of Washington State High School Athletics. Got milk? We welcome you back inside the Tacoma Dome. Both teams have been introduced out on the floor. We're about ready to tip things off for this boys 3A championship. The starting lineup first for the Rainier Beach Vikings. Nate Robinson, a 5'10 senior, averaging better than 28 points a game in this tournament. Justin Kelsey, 6'5 senior. Lodrick Stewart, 6'4 junior. Roderick, a 6'4 junior. And Tyrone Shepard, a 6'3 senior. The Vikings, in their 8th tournament overall, they will earn their 6th trophy tonight. They are also in their 4th final. They beat Squim in 88, beat Olympia in 98. They lost the championship game last year to Mount Vernon. Rainier Beach at 27-1 overall. Mercer Island at 23-4. And a long storied history for their program. Their starting lineup, Burmeister, a 6'5 junior. Kevin Churls at 6'8, a junior. Duke Biggers, a 6'2 senior. Kevin Tempest, 6'3 senior. And Ryan Hammer, a 6' senior. The 21st tournament, 20 trophies out of those 21 counting tonight. It's the 8th final for Mercer Island. Their victories over Curtis in 85, Ferris in 93, Mount Vernon in 97, and O'Day in 99. Let's check in quickly with John Horton.
Todd, you know there's a lot of times where the 11th guy on the team won't make much of a difference. But that 11th guy at the start of the year for the Mercer Island Islanders was Ryan Hammer. He was inserted into the lineup after the loss to Newport early in the season, and he has gone absolutely wild throughout the season. He has been the intangible that has made the Islanders go, and he could do it tonight again. Gentlemen?
Right now his coach hopes that at least for one more game, it's Hammer time. The Islanders in the dark uniforms, the Vikings in the light. John Mateo of the Evergreen Officials Association, Eric Johnson of the South Sound Association will re-jump it. Reset. They're actually going to reset the clock. Funny, I thought the ball had been touched. We'll put those 2 seconds back on. The Vikings control. Down into the post, whistle, and contact as Roderick Stewart gets knocked down. First foul of the game is going to go against Duke Biggers.
Not an auspicious start for Duke. It's certainly not what he wanted to happen in the very first play. Mercer Island out, and it looks like they're going to do a little 2-3 matchup maybe here. I would think that the game plan would be to try to make Beach shoot the ball over the top, but that's awfully easy to say and tough to do.
Good penetration and the kiss off the glass that time by Roderick Stewart. And pressure from the Vikings. The Islanders will move it into full court now with Hammer.
And as we mentioned, these teams are very familiar with each other. They know what their strengths and weaknesses are.
A week ago at the University of Washington, Rainier Beach winning at 46-43. Nice backdoor cut, but the layup left short by Hammer, and the Vikings on the run. Great penetration on the transition. Stewart lost the handle going up. There was a piece of it, so he was able to regain possession legally, and the basket goes to Allen Winston.
Great transition. When you play Rainier Beach, you better get back, turn around, and find your man in the ball, because they're coming after you.
Churl's working outside, tries to go, stripped away from him. Oh, nearly saved. A great effort there by Shepard along the baseline. Couldn't quite get it tapped out in time. It'll stay with Mercer Island underneath.
Churl's certainly the biggest man on the floor, but still has the ability to put it on the floor, but he's tough in the low block.
Ed Peppel, you saw there, his 45th year of high school coaching, deflected away by Stewart and out of bounds.
Rainier Beach in their typical man-to-man. They will harass you to extend pressure. Very quick, get a lot of hands on balls, lead the tournament in steals. There's Burmeister from a 30.
Yeah, and that's within his range, folks.
Oh, no question.
It drives his coach crazy, but a lot of them go in as well.
You know, when you watch him play for the first time, you think maybe he thinks you get more points the further out he shoots it. And there he gets one going back
inside instead, so he crosses everybody up. Burmeister has not had a good tournament shooting the ball from outside so far. If he can get hot, it'll be big. Meanwhile, Mercer Island has played pretty good three-point percentage defense. They hope that they can hold Rainier Beach in that area as well.
They're playing the 2-3 matchup. This is the guy you cannot let hurt you on the penetration, because Robinson is so quick when he gets to a gap. He not only finds places for himself, but everybody else in the team.
Roderick Stewart with the elevation in the roll.
And there's a great example right there. When you get to a seam in a zone, the Twins have the ability to get up over the top of anybody and get those easy looks.
Burmeister through traffic with the dish. Out of control and turned over by Tempest. Stewart the other way. 1-on-2 whistle before he can go to the basket. They'll call the foul prior to that dunk. Impressive finish, but all for naught. The foul call against Ryan Hammer.
You saw the emotion in Roderick there, that he was really going to push the ball. Get a chance to look at here. They take the ball inside, and he's going right to the basket. There's a foul call, but he finishes emphatically. The thing is, when you go to the basket against Rainier Beach, there's going to be 5 guys there fighting to block your shot, so you better pull up and shoot the jump shot.
Robinson thought about it, then penetrates, kicks outside for Lodrick for 3. Lodrick Stewart.
You heard Coach Bethea say, penetrate, attack, Nate, and that's exactly what he did.
Lodrick Stewart 1 for 10 from three-point range before that shot. Runner for Burmeister, tough one there. Kept the ball alive, then it's stripped away. Whistled, and a foul in backcourt. It goes against Biggers, his second foul as the Vikings were breaking down the floor.
And that's a big foul. You know, you can prepare all you want, but when you're playing against the speed and quickness of a team like Rainier Beach, you have to be in the game to really understand, and your kids have to understand that.
There has not been a lot of trash talking back and forth between the two teams since the incident last week. However, the Rainier Beach kids really wanted to have a rematch with Mercer Island. They figure they have a score to settle. As Stewart misses that one from outside.
Well, I think the Islanders kind of feel the same way. It's not a, like you say, there's nothing nasty going on. It's just a nice competitive, we're going to get you guys type of thing.
Hammer lost it the second time after missing the opening shot. Beach on the run again. Lodrick Stewart. Fallaway left it a little bit short. Hammer. Tempest losing the handle. Robinson on the pull-up. Left that one short. Nice follow-up for him from Roderick Stewart.
Right now, both teams kind of feel each other out, but the game itself is being rather sloppily played with mishandled balls and maybe poor shot selection on both ends of the floor right now.
Mercer Island's not getting too many shot attempts. Tough runner there and a whistle. The hold on Charles as he went to the basket. Got off balance. Call's going to go against Robinson.
There's Charles putting the ball on the floor. Robinson got a little piece of him right there, even though he's in pretty good defensive position. You know, when you put the ball on the floor, Todd, against Rainier Beach, you got to be awfully strong with it. And a couple times Hammer has tried to take the ball into the crowd, and you can't do that. When you beat your man, you must pull up and shoot the ball because you take it one more dribble. And like I said, they're going to be fighting to block it or take the charge.
Charles with a nice touch stops the run of 7 straight Rainier Beach points. Mercer Island going to a little token pressure of its own, which Rainier Beach is able to beat. Robinson dishes to Stewart. Left it short, gets his own follow, and Roderick was 6 in the first quarter.
That's the thing that kills you. One game here in the tournament, they had 26 offensive rebounds. They had about 20, I believe, last evening.
Turnover again as it's thrown away by Biggers. Stewart, 4 guys around him. They'll bring it back outside. Winston holding it up.
Good decision that time. They didn't have a clear look.
Roderick Stewart trying to look weak side.
The thing you got to do when Rainier Beach shoots the ball, if you're Mercer Island, you've got to get a body on somebody.
Wide open look here for Lodrick Stewart. Missed the 3. Rebound to Biggers. Biggers holding. Charles outside. Good help side that time, and the turnaround drops for Kevin Tempest, his first points.
Nice look down low from Charles to Tempest. Tempest did a good job. Nice little reverse pivot and got the shot off.
Robinson checking in with the bench. They were telling the officials are counting for that closely guarded. Robinson on his own.
See, and there again, you cannot give them offensive second chances right there. And that's the tough thing. When you're in the zone, you got to go put a body on somebody in the ball shot.
Timeout is going to be taken by Rainier Beach. A little bit concern on the bench that there's some fatigue amongst their players. They want to talk it over. We'll return 2.5. The WIAA Dairy Farmers of Washington 3A State Boys Basketball Championship is brought to you tonight by Les Schwab. Our business is earning your trust. And by Honda. See your Honda dealer today to learn more about the great value Honda has to offer. Back in Tacoma, Rainier Beach taking the first timeout. Little debate on that one over whether it would still be a charged timeout since it also served as our media break, but it is charged. The Vikings requested it. Stewart to trigger it inbounds. Good look at Lodrick Stewart. Roderick throwing it inbounds. And now Robinson. Nice crossover move. Hangs. Left it short. Ripped away, and a whistle's going to be called on Allen Winston. Let's check and see for a minute. Nope, the call's going to go against Tyrone Shepard for Rainier Beach. His first foul. John Horton has an update for us.
Todd, one of the reasons that Beach called that timeout was the fact that Roderick Stewart had a small cut on his left hand. Not going to affect any of his dribbling, but they did have to put a Band-Aid on it. Otherwise, he would have had to come out of the game.
Thank you, John. Whistle and a traveling call against Kevin Tempest as he had some pressure down on the block.
That's a great way to beat pressure, pass and make the cut, but Rainier Beach is so quick at adjusting to get back right then and cause the travel.
The Vikings get this one. They are an average of plus 13, not total for the tournament, an average of plus 13 on turnovers in each game in which they play. Stewart from the baseline with 8 in the opening quarter.
Well, they really attack you defensively and try to take you out of your rhythm. They're doing a good job of getting the ball inside. I'm surprised that Mercer Island hasn't maybe gone to a man-to-man as you see the
plus
turnover.
6 already in the first quarter.
But what I'm saying is, I don't think that Mercer Island can stay in the zone defense. You might be able to play man-to-man, and then everybody else back in the middle.
Held ball, Roderick Stewart tying up. It stays with Mercer Island. First sub coming in now for the Vikings. Dwayne Wright will check into the lineup. And for the Islanders, it'll be Taylor Donovan, a freshman, coming in. How about that? He's played in one game in the tournament, now state championship game as a freshman. He's the first guy off the bench for Burmeister. Backside, and a block there. I'll be honest, there are so many hands and officials in the way, I can't tell you who got it. Robinson and the foul. He just let the defense split, went all the way to the hole.
It doesn't matter who got it in one end because that guy's going to deliver it at the other end.
Lodrick Stewart with the block there. And at the other end, the foul on Mitch Carson.
Freshman mistake. You cannot take the ball into the middle against these people. You must be content to pull up and shoot the jump shot.
Robinson 64% at the free throw line in the tournament, completes the three-point play. Austin Ewan will come into the lineup for Mercer Island for Mitch Carson.
Here you go, right there. Right there. You're going to take Lodrick.
One of the keys, Harsh, throughout this tournament is that Rainier Beach has gotten off to great first quarter starts in each game in which it's played, and tonight again not an exception.
Well, you know, when you've got the athletic ability that they have, they put so much pressure on you, and it's nice to see that they're staying with what they do best. What they do is they try to make you adjust and take you out of what you want to do best.
They do a great job of overplaying and denying the passing lanes. Quick look inside, and again a rushed shot there by Tempest. Robinson in traffic, and another foul in the backcourt, this one against Ewan.
Yeah, exactly. But see, he had the open look, but he had to look around because he couldn't believe he was open. Then he rushed the shot, and that's what they make you do. Rainier Beach does a great job on that defensively.
15 foul already against the Islanders, and we're still in the first quarter.
Ed Peppel saying, please don't guess about those calls. Make sure.
Robinson looks as though the Vikings are going to stretch it out, maybe hold for the last shot. They have a 10-point lead. Again, if you don't watch high school boys often, there is no shot clock for the boys. There is for the girls later tonight.
There's a lot of debate on that. I personally like it. It keeps it a different game than the college game and the pro game, and the clock doesn't legislate that you got to shoot the ball every so often.
Right. Roderick Stewart taking a look up at the clock behind the basket. Mercer Island trying to just trap and get a little bit of pressure here. Stewart hangs, strong off the glass, rebound to Churls. From midcourt, left short there by Tempest. The Vikings with an impressive first quarter. Mercer Island more turnovers than points with the intensity of the Rainier Beach defense. Robinson's three-point play capping the quarter. It's the Vikings by 10 after 1. Back at the Tacoma Dome after 1, it's Rainier Beach on top of Mercer Island by a score of 16-6. This week on ACC Sunday Night Hoops, it's the final game at Cole Fieldhouse as ACC regular season champion and second-ranked Maryland looks to end its regular season on a high note, while Roger Mason and the Virginia Cavaliers will try to knock off the top two in the ACC all in 1 week. It's Virginia and Maryland. Don't miss it. Sunday at 5 right here on Fox Sports Net.
It won't be as good as this game.
Oh, they'll all be melancholy about Cole Fieldhouse, though. Long range by Robinson to try to open the second quarter. Ewan with the rebound.
One thing I do like about Rainier Beach, your kids shoot the ball with confidence, even if it doesn't go in, and that's what you got to do. You got an open shot, you got to take it.
They're trying to deny the ball to Burmeister, and so far they've done a good job of it. Knocked away. Almost another foul there on Hammer as Wright came up with the ball. Now Robinson in traffic.
You can't try to play Robinson in the backcourt. You better get back and protect the basket from the top of the key in. If you try to play up-tempo with him or try to play in the backcourt and pressure him, he will go around you and make you look like a fool.
Stewart waiting for his teammates to set up. Got a little bit of a rub. Robinson all the way and lays it home.
But there again, why go out and pressure when you know somebody's quicker than you? Clear out here at 30 to 40 feet. Stay back, play containment, get everybody else back in the paint, make them shoot the ball over the top.
Another run of 7 straight right now, and you see the Beach doing it in the paint as well. Backdoor cut, little shuffle of the feet there. Again, his hammer almost lost it going up and pops it in. His first points of the game.
You notice even though he got the shot in, how many people were there? There are 2 that the Beach kids recover so quickly.
Robinson waiting, now to Lodrick Stewart. Robinson again one-on-one with Ewan, just backs him down and hits from the free throw line. Robinson starting to heat up, Marsh.
Well, I think you got to run somebody at him once in a while. You can't just let him do that, especially when he's bigger. Even though he's not bigger so much in terms of height, he's so much stronger than the guys that are checking him. He can get up over the top of him. He jumps so well.
Hammer off the screen, whistle, no shot, he traveled. Again, he's starting to catch in stride and shuffle the feet. It's the pressure that's getting
exactly. He's catching the ball over his shoulder. Look at the pressure right here to the basket. Now right there, Robinson finishes. But if you're Mercer Island, you need to get back in the paint. 4 guys, play containment, and take the charge. There's the turnovers.
Roderick Stewart drew 3 defenders. There's no way that anybody's going to get to Robinson after that. Another fall away, couldn't get the roll. Rebound by Charles.
No, I don't mean on the guy that he passes to. I mean
right.
the guy who's passing the ball. They got to get back and protect the basket there.
Braden Bilby in the lineup for Mercer Island. A whistle as Charles went to the hole, and a holding foul. So Mercer Island now, Dave, will go 6-9, 6-8. Do they try to get something down on the block?
Well, yeah, you're kind of a darn if you do, darn if you don't thing. I think you've got to go inside and try to establish in the paint, but they haven't been able to do that and play physical in there. I think you need to do that. They've been content to play high post because of the pressure that the guards of Rainier Beach put on you. And you know, it's a really tough thing.
The foul call was against Tyrone Shepard, his second foul. Kevin Charles averaged 10 a game in the regular season. He has raised it to 14 a game in the tournament so far.
Yeah, just a junior.
3 for 4 at the line. That's where all his points have been so far. But again, it's still a double-digit lead for the Vikings. Robinson eyeing Burmeister.
Now back to the zone. Williams flashing from behind the zone.
Kenny Williams in the lineup, and Robinson over the defenders. Ewan a long rebound. Nearly picked. There it is this time. An easy one for Roderick Stewart. That one was telegraphed. He read it, made the pick, and another turnover converted into points by Rainier Beach.
Well, Mercer Island doing a very poor job of coming to meet the basketball and passing the basketball.
Burmeister taken away from him. They'll call Stewart. So close to getting that one away, but he got the foot back down on the floor for the travel. That officially, I think, would be their first turnover.
I believe it is. And here's the pass right here. Brandon Burmeister has been playing as he's being subbed, and I don't know if he's limping a little, but the thing that concerns me as I watch the look in his face, it's almost a deer in the headlights look, like he's really disconcerted by the pressure that Rainier Beach has been putting on him.
Duke Biggers back in the Islander lineup as Lodrick Stewart knocks another one out of bounds. Beginning to think there are 3 of him. Never mind his twin brother, 3 of him. He's been everywhere on the floor. Long range won't go for Tempest. Rebound for Roderick, streaking 2-on-1. Robinson was calling for the lob, and Dwayne Wright waited way too long. They get a break out of it, but Robinson was calling for it a lot sooner, and Wright couldn't get it to him in time.
And Nate let him know that when I'm open, throw the ball up on the lob, I'll go get it. There's the rebound. Look at the outlet pass right here. Great.
Robinson's calling for it there, and Wright
he is. We're out of our picture.
Went too long. Robinson up top. Roderick Stewart, little jump hook doesn't go. The shots that were falling for Beach aren't going for right now, but Mercer Island's not able to capitalize either. Tempest, the open look for Bilby. Big man can't get it. Nice offensive board for Ewan.
Well, that time, Mercer Island got the ball off the boards, and they had numbers. They had 4-on-2, and they should have scored.
Robinson outside, great bounce pass, the skip along the inside. You talked about Williams running back door, Dave.
Well, what he's been doing, he's been running the baseline, and you got to find him. He comes from behind the zone, and he's working from behind, and that's tough to find.
Thrown away again as they put the pass behind Charles Stewart, followed by Robinson.
That is a great athletic play. Biggers is upset because nobody came to the ball, but he has to remember it's always the passer's responsibility to make sure that people are looking at you when you pass it.
Timeout taken by Mercer Island. The turnover, Stewart missing, but Robinson there to clean it up. He has 9. The lead is up to 15. Back at the Dome, Rainier Beach enjoying a run right now. Their pressure forcing mistakes for Mercer Island, and it's the Vikings leading it by 15. Don't forget, coming up tonight on the Northwest Sports Report, Mark Few and the Gonzaga Bulldogs will start their tournament run. We'll have highlights and reaction from the West Coast Conference men's basketball tournament. We'll have a Pac-10 men's and women's wrap-up. And the Seahawks have signed a starting quarterback. We'll have that news, plus the other football in Seattle today, all on the Northwest Sports Report at 10.
That was a pretty nice play right there. I'll tell you what, I don't care the size of anybody on Rainier Beach's team. You got to cut them off the boards. But there was a problem in the huddle after that timeout because Mercer Island, Duke Biggers was not happy that nobody came to the basketball, and that's true. But as a passer, you got to make sure people are open.
First time they've really taken it well down on the block, and it pays off for Charles.
Well, when you're 6'8" and 6'9", you need to take advantage of it. The problem is the pressure up the court to get the ball into half court and into the big guys.
Mercer Island has not put together back-to-back baskets yet in this game. Rainier Beach has had several runs of 7 or more.
I'm still surprised that that Mercer Island stays in the zone.
Whistle on the pass, the entry pass attempt by Roderick Stewart as he went to go to Williams. He was fouled. The foul against Austin Ewan, his second personal.
Points off turnovers clearly to Rainier Beach.
Yeah.
Is that an understatement?
Considering that, you know, the one turnover the Beach might have, if you even count it, because Stewart wasn't fully in possession. So I don't know technically whether they've even been credited with one yet. Dave, I like what they're doing here with the tempo. They've got the lead, and while they're not taking the air out of the ball, they're looking for good shots.
No, they are, and what they're doing is they're trying to get the ball. If you can get the ball into the middle against any zone, you're going to have a good chance to score, or right down there on the baseline.
Stewart got underneath the first man, beat the help side defender. He'll have the chance for the three-point play. The foul on Charles.
I'm sure as long as Ed Pepple is coach, that he's told his guys when the ball goes inside, we've got to react and go back and help, as you see Ed right there. But unfortunately, his kids aren't reacting right now to that thing, to that scheme. And what you got to do is you've got to go back in and force Rainier Beach to throw the ball back out and beat you from the outside. Now, that's easy to say, but very difficult to do because they're so good at getting to seams and causing problems.
It's very silent on the Mercer Island side of the Tacoma Dome right now. Stewart with 11 first-half points. He's almost outscored the Islanders by himself. Blair Becker in the lineup for Mercer Island. Nice cut down the lane by Tempest.
Good. Tempest right now is the only offensive threat they have from the perimeter. Not only the shot, but get to a seam and help.
There's the backdoor cut again. A great look by Shepard. He finds Lodrick Stewart.
See, they're going high point to high post to low post, cutting along the baseline.
Keep in mind, Rainier Beach is averaging better than 78 points a game in this tournament.
Well, we talked about if it was down in the 40s. The game last week was 46-43.
They make it in the 40s by half.
Yeah, Mercer had a chance. If it's up in the 60s or above, it's probably going to be Rainier Beach.
Tempest looking inside. Charles, backdoor cut for Burmeister. Got inside and lays it home. A little bit more poised by the Islanders the last few times.
Well, Burmeister's still not playing with the confidence, you know, that he needs to play with.
Robinson walking it over. Williams, who's come back to the team after a football injury in the opening week of football season, injured his knee, missed all of football, and missed a good chunk of basketball.
The one thing when you're playing a zone, Todd, is you have to find somebody to check. You can't check what we call air. You just can't stand there, even if you're the guy in the middle. You got to find somebody.
Roderick Stewart rims it around and out, tapped. It'll belong to Mercer Island, last touched by Tyrone Shepard. Matt Dance will check into the lineup for Rainier Beach for the first time.
See, now that was good patience, and that wasn't a bad shot that time by Lodrick. He got a good look at it, had his legs underneath him. Unfortunately, the ball came out long, and it went off, was called off one of their players.
Mitch Carson returns for Mercer Island.
Austin Yen did a nice job when he was in there for the Islanders.
They have another cut here now on Roderick Stewart. He's going to have to go to the bench and get a Band-Aid. They either have to use the timeout or sub him out of the lineup. Let's see what they're going to do. They'll sub for him, and Dwayne Wright will check in.
Somebody better get a fingernail file out because there's some scratching and clawing going on out there. Mercer Island needs to score here going into the halftime. Only a minute to go. In fact, if they were smart, they might let 2 for 1.
I think Rainier Beach will just wind up over that again. Open look there for Hammer. Churls the offensive board.
Churls, right place, right time. Hammer shot that ball kind of as an afterthought. Didn't have his legs underneath him, but Churls to the offensive glass.
And that's the first back-to-back baskets in the game for Mercer Island. Coaches are telling Robinson hold for 1. Unfortunately, they forgot to tell Dwayne Wright. Robinson gets the rebound and the follow, 11 and a half for Robinson.
Well, surprised that Wright took the shot because he just came in the ball game, and then what Mercer Island did is not cut off the board.
Burmeister with a bomb, won't go. Rebound at the horn for Carson, no, and that'll end the first half of play. A big opening half for the Rainier Beach Vikings. They got the matchup they wanted, and so far, they have performed up to their expectations. Halftime of the 3A Boys Championship game, Nate Robinson and Roderick Stewart, both with 11 points apiece to pace Rainier Beach. And the Vikings lead Mercer Island by 14. We'll be back with halftime activity, special guests, recap the first half of play when we return to Tacoma Dome. You're watching the Boys 3A Basketball Championships on Fox Sports Net. The WIAA Dairy Farmers of Washington 3A Boys State Basketball Championship is brought to you by Honda. See your Honda dealer today to learn more about the great value Honda has to offer. And we want to welcome Honda aboard as the sponsor here. Halftime at the Tacoma Dome, and Rainier Beach in control right now against Mercer Island, leading it by a 33-19 score. And Dave, it's been a very impressive first half, I'd say, for Rainier Beach. Their shot selection has been outstanding. They've been aggressive at both ends of the floor.
They've done a great job of controlling tempo, taking good shots, harassing Mercer Island into playing probably their worst half of basketball, and I don't know how long, but certainly in this tournament, kind of un-Mercer Island-like basketball.
Yeah, you really got the feeling early on in the ball game that the Mercer Island kids had the jitters. They were nervous, and they were letting Rainier Beach get to them.
In this tournament, and I've been here every day, I have not seen Brandon Burmeister, and I'm not trying to put it all on him because he's a junior in high school, but he's a better player than the way he's playing out here, but a lot of his problems is because Rainier Beach is not letting him do what he wants to do.
And right now, Ed Pepple really has to tell his kids, hey, this is not a one-shot ball game. We're going to have to chip away at it, maybe get within 6 or 7 going into the fourth quarter. That's where they've got to hope to be after the next 8 minutes.
One possession at a time, but the other thing is I really think they've got to think about changing up in their defense. I don't think they can win the game if they stay back in the zone and be somewhat passive. I think you've got to play containment in the ball and try to make Robinson go side to side, which is very difficult, and everybody else then get back in the paint and give him one shot. How many offensive rebounds has Rainier Beach got this half? I don't know, but way too many for Mercer Island.
But can Mercer Island handle Beach with a man-to-man defense?
Well, I think you can if you play containment on the ball, and the other 4 guys got to kind of play with 1 foot in the paint. And when you do that, then you're in pretty good position because then you know where your guy is. and you got a chance to get a body on him. Otherwise, you got no chance on the boards.
Rainier Beach defensively, they've been impressive. Overplayed the lanes very well, forced a lot of turnovers, and you've never seen so many clean strips before.
Well, the other thing is they pressure you up the floor. That's where it starts. Now, when you get down here, once you get it over, now, can we get the ball where we want to? Hasn't happened very often. Once in a while, when they do get the ball in the low post, then they've gotten some good looks, but too few for Mercer Island.
Rainier Beach on top at the break. They lead it by 14. They're in the championship final for the second year in a row. Last year they came up short against Mount Vernon. This year, will they get over the hurdle and take home the big trophy? Halftime continues after this. Halftime of the boys 3A championship. Rainier Beach is on top of Mercer Island. Right now, John Horton is standing by with a couple of guys who, although they like being interviewed by John now, hope they'll be in the same spot a week from now. John will explain.
That's for darn sure, Todd, because next week we will be back here for the 4A championships, both boys and girls. And the boys championship, we could very well see the Franklin Quakers, courtesy of a player and a coach that I'm going to talk to right now. This is Aaron Brooks, the point guard for the Quakers. Last night against Garfield, a great game, 31 points. That's called peaking at the right time, my friend.
Yeah, but I couldn't do it without my team. I mean, they found me when I was open, and I mean, the rebounds, we had some key rebounds and some clutch shots by the other team, and they gave me confidence to play my game, and yeah.
I saw you guys play in the King Holiday Hoop Fest, and that was a very tough game. One night later, you came back and beat Garfield. You beat Garfield again last night. What's been the difference between then and now?
Our intensity, I mean, our defense. We brought it defensively, and that's what really brought us over the hump. I would say we all have one common goal, and that's to get to state and then win state. And when we got that all together, I mean, we can do whatever. Put that together, we do whatever.
The coach is Jason Kerr. Talk to us about some of the teams that might really make some noise at state next week.
Well, I tell you what, over the last 10 years, this is probably one of the strongest 4A tournaments that it's going to be. I mean, there's anywhere from 9 to 10 teams that realistically are going to be walking in on Wednesday with a shot to win a title. East of the mountains, you've got Shadle Park and Ferris coming out of there that are both very strong teams with a lot of experience here at the state tournament coming from last year. This year on the west side, we've got, again, Lincoln, the powerhouse out of Tacoma. Tim Kelly doing a great job with Justin Holt down there. And the SBSL joining in together with the Narrows League always produces 4 to 5 really good, strong teams that are going to come in. Up north, you've got Stanwood with Appleby and Steele. They're going to bring it down here. Snohomish, they had a great battle last night within 9 points of each other, and they're going to bring it to the state tournament. I mean, it really is going to be a real test from at least not the first round, definitely the quarterfinals on for every single team.
Talk about some of your guys that may light it up here at the Tacoma Dome next week.
Well, I think we're going to stick with our pattern that's been working all year long, which is our AAA solution, Aaron, and Anthony. And I tell you what, with those 3 kids and the number of kids on the rest of the team that surround them, that are willing to go to them and let them do their thing is really what's made us strong. And, collectively they're strong, but those 3 kids have been our leaders all along.
Franklin Quakers have been hovering around that #1 position all season long. They knocked off the #1 team last night. They're peaking at the perfect time coming to state here next week. Todd, back to you.
Thank you very much, John Horton. They're just up the road from Rainier Beach. Could the trophies for 3A and 4A reside close to one another? We still have another half of the 3A to We welcome you back to the boys 3A basketball championship game. Now let's take a look at the first half highlights brought to you by the Dairy Farmers of Washington, proud sponsor of Washington State High School athletics. Got milk? Got highlights? We do for Rainier Beach.
There's the steal, pressure up the floor. How about that? We could show that every time. And there he is, get to the seam, find the open man, knock down the jump shot. That was the only three-point shot made in the first half by either team. And inside again, against the zone. Not dropping back Mercer Island and taking away what they'd like to, which is the interior. You see Robinson there warming up.
Robinson with 11, Roderick Stewart 11, Lodrick Stewart with 7.
Mercer Island, there's Tempest using his size in the middle, driving here again, finishing. was their most consistent scorer. Here again, kicking the ball out. Burmeister for his first basket. Charles to Burmeister for his second basket. Finish there. There you see Burmeister. He's got to heat up. 0 for 2. Mercer Island 0 for 4 from three-point range.
Yeah, Burmeister just 2 of 5 from the floor for 4 points. Charles leads the Islanders with 7. Tempest and Burmeister 4 apiece. Ewan and Hammer with 2 apiece. With an update from the floor, let's check in with John Horton.
Thank you very much, Todd. Ed Pepple with a very simple statement at halftime. As a matter of fact, before the game, they were joking about the fact that with a 15-minute halftime, could he fill it all? Well, he didn't have much time filling it. He just talked about one thing, heart. That's what's going to get the Mercer Island Islanders back in this game. And it's been a theme with them all season long. So when you think about the second half for Mercer Island, just think about that one word, heart. Todd?
Thank you very much, John. 8 championship appearances for that man and his youngsters. 6 of them on the old AAA level, the high level back then. The numbers overall, and the big difference there, Harsh, look at the difference in the number of shots taken in the first half.
Yeah, number of shots, you got to get more shots. Curls is 2 for 2. They need to get the ball more in the paint. You look at the turnovers. You look at the reboundings. I question that because Rainier Beach scored so much off second chance opportunities. You see those, but those are offensive rebound opportunities.
Yeah, we're thinking the rebound statisticians went to the same counting school you and I did.
Well, the other thing about, I look at 11 turnovers, only 2 assists for Mercer Island. 8 assists, only 1 turnover for Rainier Beach. Great job by Beach taking care of the ball.
And keep in mind that 1 turnover came after a swipe when they were trying to get it down the floor.
Early and often, an easy way to look at high school basketball, you play 4 quarters, you win every quarter, you got a chance to win. You could win 3 quarters and lose the ball game. This has got to be Mercer Island's half.
Burmeister working against Lodrick, or rather against Allen Winston, excuse me. Now Ewan slicing in the lane, fouled as he went up.
Mercer Island's come out, and instead of playing their high flex offense, we're running 5-man motion that time. Much harder cuts, much better screens, resulting in an opportunity for 2 at the free throw line.
Roderick Stewart with the foul. He was first of the game, and 2 free throws for junior Austin Ewan. His first free throws of the tournament.
The one thing that you and I both know is Mercer Island is not going to roll over and play dead. They're going to come after you.
I think you're right. If Rainier Beach can play him even for the first 3 or 4 minutes of the quarter, they may take some of the steam out of him. If they let Mercer Island build some momentum, it could be a wild finish. Robinson between 3 defenders to the hole. Somebody's got to take a charge there.
Somebody does have to take a charge. It starts out front where Ewan. And we got an offensive foul on Burmeister trying to run up the floor. I didn't see exactly what happened out of the corner of my eye. He got tangled up with somebody, maybe extended his arm. What I was going to say, Ewan cannot go out and challenge Nate Robinson at 35, 40 feet. He's just too quick. He can get to the basket on you. That's exactly what he did right here. Now, where's the big people? Step up, give your body up, as they used to tell us when I was playing. That was a long time ago. You don't have to like it, but you got to do it.
Yeah, they're allowing big gaps. There's a turnover. Biggers read that pass and stepped in on Robinson. Back comes Rainier Beach, and Roderick Stewart got in the way to get it right back.
Quick hands.
So they just snuff out any opportunity to rally most times.
Now doing a good job taking it, try to get to a seam.
Roderick Stewart hanging. It was a tough shot that time. Really didn't have his balance. Ahead of the pack for the time being is Biggers, but it gets batted away.
Biggers caught the ball, thought he was way ahead of the pack, and kind of looked to me like he slowed up right there. You got to catch the ball and finish. When you get those rare opportunities to score against Rainier Beach, you got to do it.
Biggers thought for a moment. And as Dave mentioned, the Islanders have not hit a 3-point shot. Charles offensive foul. He put the head down on the shoulder and laid right into the defender. Second foul on Kevin.
We used to talk about taking the ball to the defense. You can't do that. When you have an open look, if it's within your range, you got to take it.
You saw Roderick go down as Kenny Williams checks back in. Roderick Stewart taking the foul. You almost get a sense, just in terms of desire, that right now the Rainier Beach kids came out of the gate tonight wanting this game more.
Well, I don't know if they wanted it anymore, but they're certainly playing, you know, you got to play 3 ways. Hard, smart, and together. And they're doing all 3. They're playing extremely hard. They're playing very smart this evening. And they're playing together. Let me say this right now. You can play up-tempo basketball and still be under control. They're doing a great job of that tonight. I like that.
Figures down into the block. Good move there by Tempest. Kept alive, but then it's fielded by Williams. He just waits for somebody to come to him, and that's a silly foul by Burmeister. If they can't get a clean look at the ball, they just back away there. Williams was inviting him. It's almost like the end of the game he knew he was going to get fouled.
Yeah, you're not going to take it away from him.
Burmeister's second personal. A little bit of frustration there for Ed Peppel as he's just trying to figure out a way to get his kids back in the ball game right now. As they always say, you got to look at Mike Bethea. The coaches can't make the shots. They do all they can to try to prepare the kids, but they can't make the shots. Williams backing it back out to Robinson. Great entry pass to Roderick Stewart. How did he ever get it there? What a touch.
Not only a great pass, but Stewart did a great job of holding his man off, catching the ball, and then delivering the basket.
He pinned, but I thought his defender was going to get around. What a touch on the pass by Robinson. Churls, and a hack that time by Lodrick Stewart trying to come backside. Take a look at the entry on this, Dave.
Yeah, really not a great angle, but nice pass right there. And I couldn't see, was that Burmeister or somebody coming over the top, right? Yeah, it is Burmeister. See, no backside help right then for Mercer Island.
Back
nice
live
by Roderick. Excuse me.
Back live, Mercer Island getting the basket. Williams stripped away from him by Tempest. And a reach-in foul on Williams as he tried to get the ball back.
You know, the thing about Mercer Island, gone to the man-to-man, much more aggressive. You know, and I think that's what Ed is telling his guys. We've got to be more aggressive. We have to take the game to them if we're going to get a chance to get back. And the clock's coming down, under 5 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Churls to the block. Went up too strong with the right hand. Kenny Williams out of traffic.
Churls needed to score on that play right there. You got to get the ball inside, and once you do, you got to deliver it.
Hang in and lay in again as Roderick Stewart attacks the basket.
There again, somebody goes to the basket from 25 feet. There's got to be somebody on the team taking the charge, getting to the road, knocking the ball. You see Stewart, their hands are so active all the time.
Lodrick got the deflection, spun around, and came up with the ball. Roderick in the lane, whistle, travel. He says, yep, good call. Acknowledges it to the referees as Matt Dance returns to the Viking lineup. Meanwhile, Mercer Island will also make substitutions. Ryan Hammer, Mitch Carson return for the Islanders. There's a look at Dance. Kenny Williams, frustrating season for him, a starter a year ago. As we said, had to come back from injury. Beach now 50% from the floor. Mercer Island just 9 field goals in the contest.
When you turn the ball over a lot like right there, you're not going to get a lot of looks at the basket.
Roderick can't get the roll. Lodrick a hand on it along with Churls. Held ball. Stays with the Beach. We have a timeout on the floor midway through the third quarter. It was 14 at halftime. It's 16 right now as Mercer Island will have to come up with some offense in a hurry. Rainier Beach looking to pick up its third championship trophy, leads Mercer Island midway through the third quarter. Don't forget, coming up tonight on the Northwest Sports Report, more tournament action, this one of the college variety. Gonzaga opens play in the West Coast Conference Tournament. A top 10 in the country, number 2 seed in their own league. Oh yeah, we know it was a coin flip. We'll have Pac-10 men's and women's action. The women's tournament first ever underway. The Seattle Seahawks have signed a quarterback. Could he be someone you know already? And we'll also visit with the U.S. soccer team. This guy will hurry home, guaranteed, for the Northwest Sports Report, right here on Fox Sports Net.
Coach Bender in the crowd. Why didn't we show his beautiful wife, Ellis?
Because I'm working on it. I'll try to get you an answer.
Don't tell Bob I said that.
Oh, he'll just go home and watch the tape anyway. Follow up on a whistle. Shepard on the follow. I think the basket counts.
The basket counts. Great job by Shepard.
Our trail official is doing a fine job of screening here.
Let me just say this. Shepard is the load inside. He's the guy that you better cut off the glass because he doesn't jump over the rim. He just spreads bodies and goes and gets the ball. Great job by Shepard. He's done it all tournament long.
He's been averaging 11 a game, but those are his first 3 points of this contest, and they stretch the lead to the largest it has been, 19 now for Rainier Beach. The foul, by the way, was on Charles, his third. Burmeister left alone for a minute. Great leap by Robinson. Bob Bender's probably thinking, please, Rick, let him play basketball too. Find Shepard for his 5th point.
Wouldn't it be something if he and E.T. were in the backcourt together?
How about that one? Roderick Stewart, another steal, tried to tightrope it, couldn't quite get away with it. Nate Robinson signing a football scholarship with Washington, but he hopes to play basketball as well. I don't know, is that the Ivor sleeve there on the right?
I believe it is. Just let me say this about Tyrone Shepard. He doesn't get a lot of credit. He does a lot of the dirty work. He is the 3rd leading rebounder in the tournament coming into tonight.
Burmeister trying to work it in against Stewart, kisses one home. Burmeister with only 6 points, 1 basket in each of the quarters so far. They've done a pretty good job of denying the ball to him.
They have. And then when that happens, a sense of frustration settles in.
Dance kicking it back outside, calls for it again. Tough pass to handle that time. Down on his feet, couldn't get to it. Good pull up by Burmeister. Again, aware of the defense, and he rushed it perhaps a bit. Lodrick Stewart the other way. He could blow by everybody and got just a bit behind the brother that time. Well, he got it quite to Roderick in the right spot.
He got a little too deep. There was really not an angle to do anything other than to kick the ball back out.
Well, Lodrick feinted going to the hole, and it was wide open there. I thought he was going to take it for sure. Now Shepard outside, dance for Robinson.
Do you think Robinson gets up high enough on his jump shot? He really
had great elevation. Only 2 points in the quarter so far for him. Open look behind the strike for 3 for Kevin Tempest. First 3-pointer of the game for the Islanders.
And hopefully many more for the Islanders to come for their faithful. I don't know about you, Todd, but my feeling is that Rainier Beach has this game, and I'm not saying in the bag, but they have control of the basketball game.
Robinson, unselfish dig to Stewart, and the foul. He could have gone up with that one. Instead, hit Lodrick. Gets the bucket.
Very unselfish play by Rainier Beach. And they've done this all tournament, but, you know, very disciplined. It's you know, a lot of people look at Rainier Beach and think they just run up and down the floor. No, they play disciplined basketball. Can they run? Yes. Do they press? Yes. Do they like the fast break? Yes. Do they like to dunk? Yes. That's all part of the way they play, and the way they play is suited for the players that they have, and they do a great job within their system.
Robinson with his 5th assist of the ball game. The foul is on Charles, his 4th, so he'll go to the bench.
You know, it's almost better, I think, to look at Rainier, or excuse me, look at Mercer and say, why don't we go small, because, you know, our height advantage is not a big plus for us.
Robinson the rebound off the miss. The Vikings will set it back up again. Robinson got Ewan away. Fall away over Burmeister. You get the feeling sometimes, Dave, that he is almost toying with his opponents. He could score at will if he wanted to.
He's playing at a different level. I think the thing, you know, as you look past high school, is he's going to play. You're going to have to understand that he's not going to be able to take the ball into the paint even as well as he elevates over guys in the Pac-10, and he'll understand that. But he's so quick to getting to places.
Has a good release on that fall away as well, and creates some space against a taller defender. You'll want to hit that more consistently. Shepard, the bench tell him to hang on to the ball. And they tell Shep go. Around his defender. Robinson. A little early jump that time by Stewart, or he might have come up with it again. Good tap on the effort by Tempest. Foul on Robinson reaching in against Ryan Hammer.
Good foul because he stopped the break. He had a 2-on-1 break, but he ran back like any good player does to defend his basket.
Second foul against Robinson. Duke Biggers back in the lineup for Mercer Island. Rainier Beach led by 10 at the end of the first quarter, by 14 at halftime, and they've continued to stretch it out. The closest that Mercer Island's been so far in this quarter is 12. And the lead as big as 20 moments ago. Blair Becker outside, Ewan. Biggers, again, they're just running that open motion offense you talked about, Hart. Burmeister trying to enter, now the kick, tough shot there, won't go. Stewart the rebound off the miss by Tempest. Will it count? They were gonna have that one drop if Robinson had hit it. 8 minutes to go, and Rainier Beach starting to feel it a little bit. The Vikings closing in on a championship. We'll be back with the fourth quarter of the boys 3A championship game after this on Fox Sports Net. The WIAA Dairy Farmers of Washington's 3A Boys State Basketball Championship is brought to you by Les Schwab. Our business is earning your trust. And by Honda. See your Honda dealer today to learn more about the great value Honda has to offer. To the fourth quarter we go, with Rainier Beach leading Mercer Island by 18.
Mike Buffet telling Lodrick Stewart out there, D him up. And he will. I don't think he even had to tell him to say that, to do that, because they do that anyway.
Burmeister working again against Winston. That's a tough shot, nearly got the roll, but off balance. He's trying to get his team back in it. Good contained that time, and he squared up, Dave. He's the first player in double figures for Mercer Island.
Stayed with it.
Great cut by Stewart as Robinson found him. A little bit of a delay, but they attacked in a hurry. Stewart, the third player in double figures now for Rainier Beach.
Nice look, little left hand, soft left hand jumper in the lane.
Lodrick trying to chase down, a little trap by the Vikings as well. Ewan is going to get the basket on the follow, grab the air ball, nobody expected it, hits the basket and draws the foul.
There's the end of it, the reverse right there, catching the ball. You got a chance for the three-point play.
The foul call went against Roderick Stewart, his second foul. Austin Ewan had scored a total of 2 points in the tournament prior to tonight's final. He has 6 this evening. Held ball, it goes to Rainier Beach. Brandon Burmeister says, didn't they go over my back on that one? He's not going to win that argument.
You know, Austin not necessarily known for scoring average 2.1 in the year, but what he does, takes care of the basketball. Good passer, good defender.
Robinson jets by everybody. Again, went right through the big men. Nice patience to pull it back out. Stewart had it batted away by Ewan. Biggers to Burmeister. Inside, and a foul on the attempt into Churls, who's playing with the 4 fouls. Tyrone Shepard will pick up his 3rd foul on the call.
And Ed Pepple, his reaction, he threw his hands up in the air like, hey, it's about time. Of course, when you're down, you're going to fight for your kid for anything you can get.
Yeah, and when you're down, every intercepted pass appears to be a foul sometimes, too. We understand the passions that the coaches have right now.
But see, Rainier Beach gets their, right there, they get their hand on so many balls and knock so many of them loose.
On the run for Tempest, he has 9.
Kevin Tempest has done a nice job attacking the middle of the Rainier Beach defense.
Well, there Robinson got a little greedy, but he caught a break. Ewan reaching in to take it away from him, but Robinson tried to push it between two guys for the first time and almost overextended.
But you know what? Did you catch the afterburners? I mean, he just put that thing into overdrive, went boom. And that's called great first step quickness.
He plays with a little bit of confidence out on the court.
Well, he doesn't pound the ball. A lot of guys pound the ball. He pushes the ball and goes from spot A to spot B as quickly as anybody.
Oh, you know Roderick Stewart wants this one bad. Triple team there. He drops that one in the bucket.
Every time he scored, he's pumping that fist. He wants it bad.
Stewart and Robinson combined have 32 points, just 4 short of Mercer Island's team output.
Maybe the question will be, when it's all said and done, can Rainier Beach repeat? Because that's maybe one of the toughest things if they can get this victory.
Lodrick Stewart with the foul. That will put Mercer Island in the bonus. And Ewan, who's 2 for 3 from the line, just missed his last one, will step up there for the Islanders. Timeout called by Mercer Island. They'll take a 30. We'll go ahead and take a break as well. Just over 2 minutes gone in the 4th quarter. Rainier Beach in control, looking to win the 3A boys title. The WIAA Dairy Farmers of Washington 3A Boys State Basketball Championship is brought to you tonight by the Dairy Farmers of Washington, proud sponsors of Washington State High School athletics. Got milk? Interesting, Arch, they call a timeout between free throws. Nothing like freezing out your own shooter. Austin Ewan at the line for the backside of the 1-and-1 as we return to action.
Well, it worked. Got him to relax, not think about it. Set the defense.
Until Tyrone Shepard just taking himself against Charles with the 4 fouls. Robinson inside the board. He'll go to the line. Goes down hard. Contains himself. You see a little bit of frustration and anger there. After getting hit hard.
So he came down on my elbow,
which he injured during football season. So.
Yeah, that's just a sleeve. There's not any protection there. He didn't have an elbow pad on. Need that elbow pad. He said, the official asked him if he wanted to come out of the game. He said, no, I want to shoot the free throws. It's a state championship, man. I'm not coming out of the game. That looked pretty good. There's the rebound. There's the foul. And then what happened, Ewan got the ball, but then got a part of him, and the, you know, the momentum drove him down into the floor.
Tempest picking up the foul. 17 now for Nate Robinson. Open lane to the basket, a little defensive miss there, and Duke Biggers puts it home for his 4th.
You're not going to see that very often, or have not seen that very often this season.
Robinson backing it back out again, working with Dwayne Wright in the backcourt now.
Mercer Island has cut the lead to 14, and that sounds kind of funny, but you know, they've worked awful hard to get it there. But Rainier Beach doing a great job of controlling tempo and actually making Mercer Island come out and play their style.
Harsh, the one thing the Vikings have to do right here is we get the blocking foul called on Tempest. They still have to look to go to the basket aggressively right now.
Well, they do, and if you're Mercer Island, you know, one way to play defensively against this is to try to isolate the ball on one side of the floor, maybe run and double the ball, and then the off guy would rotate up and try to play the passing lane and maybe pick one off. But you can't allow Rainier Beach just to mess around with the ball out there and take time off the clock. You know, the clock is not your friend if you're Mercer Island.
Both teams in the bonus, as you saw. Go with that 8 of 14 from the floor. Roderick Stewart now for the tournament, 13 of 14 at the free throw line. Almost 93% backdoor cut. Well played by Mercer Island. Biggers off the assist from Tempest.
And I'm sure that's what Ed Peppel had in mind at the beginning of the ball game.
It's really one of the few times there hasn't been help side for the rest of the Viking defense. Lodrick Stewart in traffic. Boy, kissed that one off nicely.
Yeah, and he finished very well. Unfortunately, you know, the first quarter was 16-6. After that, both the second and third quarters have been very well played.
Burmeister all the way inside that time, tries to follow it up. Tapped away by Stewart, saved by Wright, and he gets it to Robinson. Okay, everybody clear out, let Shepard go to work. Stewart back to Robinson, they'll bring it back out. Again, no hurry here by the Vikings. Robinson by 4 defenders to put it home.
And Charles with 4 can't afford to take the 5th foul, or can he? You know, I think at some point you got to step up there and not worry about, hey, I may foul out. It's about the team.
Rainier Beach, as you see, they've dominated the lane throughout the ball game. Into the block to Charles. Working against Shepard. Whistle. They'll call the blocking foul on Tyrone Shepard. His 4th.
There's Roderick. Nice, great crossover. Look at it. Now watch the finish here.
Left-handed on that side of the basket.
And nice kiss. And here's Nate. Look, one drop step between the legs and just challenges the big guys. He says, hey, you want to take the charge? You want to block the shot? Come on.
No one's come close all night long to do that.
No. Hey, the thing about, you look at Nate, and I don't know what he weighs, but he is a physical specimen. He can take a blow, obviously, because he's a football player also.
Taylor Donovan in. Burmeister is going to sit now for the Islanders.
I always tell kids, you got to attack the basket, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Charles able to find a better shooting background, the second free throw. He has 8. Shepard and Robinson. Shepard just positioning players right now. Duke Biggers yelling over at the Mercer Island bench, trying to get some instructions on what Ed Peppel wants the players to do out on the floor. Shepard, weak side, Lodrick Stewart, and lays it home. Great looks both by Roderick Stewart and then by Shepard for that one.
Yeah, and they knew that somebody would be open across, and he kissed it nicely off the glass rather than trying to dunk it over somebody, and just got the ball up there, or maybe get the shot blocked.
14 assists you saw for Beach, and I'll bet no more than 3 or 4 turnovers in the ball game total now. Inside look for Charles, reverses it.
You got to finish with your Charles. You got to finish when somebody gives you a pass like that.
Donovan kicked it outside to Duke Biggers for the follow. But right now, again, Mercer Island is doing nothing more than trading baskets. Robinson fending off defenders. Someone stepped in, and they'll call the offensive foul. Somebody took the body. It was close, but Tempest draws the charge from Robinson, his 3rd foul.
Kevin Tempest doing a nice job of giving his body up. Here's Nate getting to the basket this time. Being ridden, it could have been a foul right there, call either way. He still tried to avoid the contact, but they called him for it.
Justin Kelsey, 6'5" senior, in the ball game for Rainier Beach for the first time. And Kenny Williams also returns to the Vikings lineup. Inside 2 minutes now. Charles, and he let the defender force him to change his shot instead of going up strong. He did draw the foul, however. Call's going to go against Lodrick Stewart, and that's his 4th.
Look at, here comes the double team from Mercer, and look at the ball movement. There's Shepard. Here comes the weak side help. He looks across. There's Lodrick, and he finishes. A to B to C basket.
Everybody keep hands up. Hands up. Hands up.
Churl's now 6 for 8 at the free throw line, draining those two.
You know, Todd, you look at the scoring in the three-headed monster that we talked about in the opening. Completely led the way for the beat tonight.
Robinson will go to Williams will go to the stripe. The foul call against Taylor Donovan. Kenny Williams, first free throw attempts of the tournament. I don't think he's pleased. Look at that reaction on his face. He knows that his team is closing in on a trophy. Brandon Miller, the senior, closing out his career, getting some playing time, and Ed Peppel taking out some of the starters now. Christoph McKenzie is also in the lineup for Mercer Island. Memphis the rebound after the miss by Williams. Biggers packed away from behind by Roderick Stewart.
You know, now that may have been a very simple play to the average fan, but that was a great hustle play by Roderick Stewart to come from behind. The ball goes over your head. You're taught to sprint back to the level of the basketball. He did a great job. Watch him coming from the backside right here to knock the ball out of bounds. He couldn't get it, but he did a great job of hustle back. He got the rebound there, though.
Roderick Stewart with the board off the miss from Duke Biggers. Robinson will walk it outside, force the defense to stretch once again.
Last night in the game to get to the championship, 38 total rebounds for Rainier Beach, 20 of them on the offensive end.
Little confusion there as Mike Bethea was talking with Nate Robinson about whether or not they should take a timeout. The officials heard the words timeout, and they called one with 1:09 to go. Let's check in with John Horton.
Well, one man who we saw earlier today, very interested party, Bob Bender. But another coach that is watching the performance of Nate Robinson tonight is Rick Newheisel. That's because Robinson is one of Newheisel's key recruits for next year. Recruited him as an athlete. Why not a position? Because he played no less than 8 different positions this year for Rainier Beach in football. And athleticism, the key reason why he was named the 3A Associated Press Player of the Year. Is he going to get to play basketball for Bob Bender? Don't know quite yet, but you've got to know that Rick Newheisel's looking forward to Nate Robinson coming in to become a second-generation Husky. His dad, the Bowl star, so to speak, Jacques Robinson. Guys, back to you.
I think he's going to have another piece of hardware to add to the trophy case in about 69 seconds or so. That one's going to say MVP on it.
That's a pretty good assumption there, young man.
Williams losing the handle a couple times. Subs are in now for Rainier Beach. Anthony Perry in. Bruce Jones also in. Whistle and a foul in the backcourt. Ricky Dates is in. Dates is going to be called for the foul. And Taylor Donovan's going to go to the free throw line for Mercer Island. Some dejected looks for those young men. They lost to the eventual state champion Mount Vernon in the semifinals last year. They made it to the championship game this year and will apparently fall short once again. But an outstanding season for Mercer Island. The boys can finish at 23-5. First points of the tournament for Taylor Donovan.
Just a 9th grader. Think he's not going to have a career at Mercer Island?
There's 6 seniors on this Islander roster, so he's getting some playing time now. You can look for him in the years to come. 4 seniors on this Rainier Beach lineup. Nate Robinson, the most notable of them, but both Stewarts are back for another year. Robinson all the way down. He'll go to the line once again. Starting to play a little defense with reaches rather than with the feet. The call goes against Bruce Jones. Mercer Island starting to bring a little more respect to the score. You can see the celebrating by Nate Robinson on the sidelines.
Great footwork.
Free throws coming for Anthony Perry as he's fouled going to the basket. Call goes against Taylor Donovan.
I'm going to tell you why I'm laughing. Ronnie Howard, the ex-Seahawk, who's assistant coach at Rainier Beach, he says, let's get this game over with. There's a girls' game after. Come on.
And there is. It'll be an interesting matchup there as well. Seattle Prep and Eastside Catholic coming up for the girls 3A championship a little bit later tonight here.
Eastside Catholic trying to become Cinderella.
We'll tell you all about that after we get done with some awards and bring you some highlights of other action in the world of sports today. Stripped away by Williams one more time, fitting that perhaps the Beach gets one more turnover and converts points off of it. When Mike Bethea got his team together at the start of the season, he said, guys, our goal is a state championship. They have reached that goal. Rainier Beach wins the boys 3A championship, going wire to wire to defeat Mercer Island. The third state championship trophy for Rainier Beach, and their third appearance in the finals in 5 years. First one that they won since '98. That team headed up by a guy who's now in the NBA.
I'm just enjoying watching the kids.
Jamal Crawford, the part of that team. Both teams will line up and shake hands now. They battled down to the wire for the district championship last week. This one had a different script. Rainier Beach led by 10 at the end of one quarter and never looked back. Nate Robinson and Roderick Stewart with 19 points apiece for the Vikings as they close out the season with a mark of 28-1. Coming into this, they were ranked number 9 in the country. Their only loss all season to Cedar Hill, Texas, by a 59-52 score. That team one notch below them in the national polls, and the Vikings close out a very impressive campaign.
In December, I was down at the Les Schwab tournament in Portland. Mater Day was there. Martha Wilson was there.
Oak Hill.
Yeah. Martha Wilson, #1 team in the country. This team is, I think, number 9th ranked. They can play with anybody in the country. That's how good this team is. If people around here don't believe, take it from me. I've been doing this a long time.
The only advantage Oak Hill would have had would have been their overall height that they had with their players. But otherwise, you're right. I think this Rainier Beach team could have competed with any of the other national invitees that came down to that event. You're right about that.
Well coached, well disciplined, played their style, but made Mercer Island try to come out and defend against them, and then they blew by them. Robinson was too much to handle. The Stewart twins were too much to handle. It was a great team job, but individuals within the team did their job.
Celebrating on the Rainier Beach sidelines, Mercer Island gathering for its consolation trophy. The winning coach standing by with John Horton. John?
All season long, they said that Beach were the kings of the court. You're about to get your crown, Coach.
Hey, man, I tell you what. It's been a long time since 1998, man, and this show feels good.
Just talk about how this team came together all season long.
Man, I tell you what, you know, like I said, I knew that we had come of age when we went back east, and it wasn't the play on the court that did it. It's how they came together as a team. And I think you've heard the story where they all chipped in and bought one of their teammates a pair of shoes and stuff. I knew I had a special group when they did that.
You're losing a special player in Nate Robinson. He sure did come tonight, MVP of the tournament.
Well, he told me all year, said, Coach, you know what, man, I'm going to carry you. I owe you one because I left last year, and so I owe you one, and don't worry about it.
With the Stewarts coming back, are we talking possible dynasty here?
I'm going to enjoy this one first.
I don't blame you at all. We'll have more with some of the Rainier Beach players as they do the presentation and cut down the nets. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, John. Very wise answer right there by Mike Bethea. Enjoy what you have so far. Unfortunately, Mr. Horton just stole our thunder there. As he already announced the MVP, the boys all-tournament team, Steve Trotter, who led Mark Morris to an outstanding season before losing to Rainier Beach in the semis last night. Brandon Burmeister of Mercer Island, Lodrick Stewart of Rainier Beach, Ryan Rostbold of West Valley, a young man who's still looking for a place to play next year, and at 6'7" could do a pretty good job for a number of schools. And no surprise, the MVP of the 3A Boys Championship, 29 in the opening round against Aberdeen, 24 against Hanford in the quarters, 31 against Mark Morris in the semis, 19 in the championship game tonight, Nate Robinson of Rainier Beach. Harsh, you've been here, as you said, every day. He's been the lead guy for this tournament, for this award, really, from day one.
He's done a great job. You know, the thing that impresses me is these guys won this game with a lot of class. They came in right from the beginning every game and made a point to play their style of ball, and they did that tonight. But what was maybe more impressive is when they had possession, is they made Mercer Island come out of what Mercer Island really wanted to do. In the second half, Mercer Island tried to play man-to-man with them, which I think they had to do. They're going to have a chance to get back in the game. But too much Robinson down the seams, too much Stewart brothers on the boards, Shepard on the boards, and they, as a team, did a great job on the defensive end of the floor, contesting every pass, getting in the passing lane, giving only one look at the basket. It was a total team effort.
Their first title since 1998. They're third overall. They're now 3-1 in state championship games. It's the sixth time, that they have come home with a trophy from the tournament. But this is the one that matters to all. Large golden ball, and they bring the cheerleaders in. Everybody gets a chance to pose for this one.
They've got the ladders down at the ends to cut down the nets. WIA doing a great job here again tonight. They're prepared. These are not easy to get on, to put on these things.
We forgot to get the advisor in.
Or the principal, I'm not sure exactly.
Yep, got to get all the staff in, get everybody in for these shots, along with the various dairy princesses.
Big, baby. Let's go. Cheesy, keep it big.
And as he's done all night long, Nate Robinson will coordinate this effort as well. 67-51, Rainier Beach over Mercer Island. Seconds not all that bad. There you go. We'll be back with more from the boys 3A championship game right after this on Fox Sports Net. They're cutting down the nets at the Tacoma Dome. Rainier Beach with the victory over Mercer Island to claim the boys 3A basketball championship. And right now, John Horton is standing by with the boys 3A. Well, we'll get to John in just a moment. I apologize. We'll have that for you in just a minute. The MVP with John Horton. Rainier Beach with the victory over Mercer Island, 67-51. Everybody getting a chance to cut down pieces of the net. Quick look at some of the unofficial statistics, and one that really jumps out at you. Rainier Beach shot 65% from the floor in the second half of the ballgame. Pretty tough to catch up when the leading team is doing that.
Pretty tough. In the big three, 53 of the 67 points for three guys. We know who those three guys are.
They did combine to put together a pretty good outfit. We've been informed that the MVP was busy moments ago cutting down the net, but he is now available, and he's standing by with John Horton. John?
19.7 rebounds. Was there anything you couldn't do today?
Man, sit on the bench. That's the only thing I wasn't going to be able to do, to tell you the truth, man.
Talk about how this team came together all season long.
We went through we struggled a lot, during practice, a lot of people playing around, so we just came out here and told everybody to play hard, every game, take every game step by step, and that's what we tried to do, and we accomplished that.
Coach Bethea talked about the fact that you said that you owed them one, that you coming back this year, you were going to take the team, put it on your shoulders, and take it all the way.
Yeah.
You did just that. Is the feeling just that satisfying that you did put the team on your shoulders and take them all the way?
Yeah, I told them that in the beginning of the year because I wasn't here last year, and they was winning in the first half and came back and lost by 9, and I wasn't going to let that happen this year. I just came out here and told them that I was going to take everybody on my back, and we was going to come out here and win state, and we did it.
talking to some of the reporters over there, you were talking about some of the unsung heroes of this team, and I know there was one in particular you wanted to mention and give some credit to.
Oh, that was Romeo Witherspoon. That's, you know what I'm saying? I've been knowing him and his family and his little brother. I mean, his older brother, his older brother, Reggie Witherspoon. I've been knowing him for so long, like, they're like family to me, you know what I'm saying? And he didn't get to play, and he kind of cried, and I told him that, you know what I'm saying, express your feelings. I told him that I was going to win state for him, well, we was, you know what I'm saying? So I just gave all the credit to him for just, you know what I'm saying, sitting on the side, you know what I'm saying, watching us play. And so next year, he'll be able to play and get a ring also.
So next year when you're running down the field at Husky Stadium, you can also say, hey, remember, I was the MVP of the basketball tournament. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thanks, Coach Mike. Mom, Dad, I love you. Alexa, I love you. You know what I'm saying? I love everybody, all my family. Shout out to J Mar, all the Section 8 people at school, my little brother Chicken, Jazzy, everybody. I love everybody.
He's a happy guy. He's the MVP, and he's part of the state champions. Guys, back to you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, John Horton. Robinson sharing scoring honors tonight for the Vikings, along with Roderick Stewart, 19 points apiece in that victory. Very impressive display, and you've got to feel a little bit sorry for Mercer Island because, as you said, they had a feeling for a while of really not knowing what hit them tonight.
Well, I guess what I would say is Rainier Beach came out and put the hammer down right from the beginning. And that first quarter really set the tone. Middle quarters, it was a 4-point swing. You know, Rainier Beach was 13, I think 17-13 in the second quarter and 15-11 in the third quarter. So, you know, they played them pretty good. But, you know, you got to find a way to get a run. And Mercer Island really never had a run tonight. And not to their discredit, but to Rainier Beach's credit because they didn't let them.
Now, it's been said throughout the tournament that probably nobody could keep up with the Stewart twins. John Horton is not the fleetest of foot, but he has done enough of a job that he's sufficiently been able to trap at least one. Let's go to John right now.
Roderick Stewart joining us. I can tell by the number. I can't tell any other way. Yeah. Talk about winning the state championship. You came so close last year. You got it all this year.
Like last year, that was my most embarrassing moment. Now this year is like my most. This one I'm going to remember for the rest of my life. Next year, I mean, win or lose, I think we're going to win it next year too, but win or lose, now I can remember this for the rest of my life.
How tough was the pressure? Because before the season, everybody was talking about the fact Beach is going to be your state champions. You all had that going on your shoulders all season long. How hard was that pressure, and how good is it that you finally came and won the state championship?
It's not even hard. It just makes us play harder. When we know that we got a lot of people on our side, I feel the only people we got on our side is like our parents and friends, but there's a lot of people that wanted to see us lose. Like when people heard that we lost against Texas, they was laughing like, I knew you guys weren't the best. I knew you guys not going to win state neither. We just put all that on our shoulders and then let it ride so we can win.
Speaking of putting on the shoulders, talk about the performance of Nate Robinson.
Yeah, he's been a big help this year. He really came through and state. He averaged over 20 every game. That's what we need. It's not even about us, me and Roderick scoring out of points. It's about team ball.
You're going to get a chance to do it all again next year, though.
Yeah. We got a lot of players returning, too. We got like 9 players returning. We got 3 seniors.
Well, we could see this guy back here again next year, but for right now, we're going to let him celebrate a state championship. Congratulations.
Right, thank you.
Thank you very much, John Horton, with Lodrick Stewart there. Again, for the game, Rainier Beach 55% from field goal range to 45% from Mercer Island. The Vikings had 11 more field goal attempts. They were credited with 9 turnovers by the end of the game, so they turned it over right in the tail end, but they forced 17 turnovers out of Mercer Island and converted a lot of points tonight.
And we talked about that a lot during the broadcast, the fact that they get their hands on a lot of balls, they get in the pass, and they just cause confusion. And the thing is, when they get a turnover, they generally finish on the other end of the floor.
Can this team come back and repeat a year from now, do you think?
Are my eyes blue?
I'm not sure. I could make a reference there about several colors. I've known you too long.
Let me say this. I think the tournament next year is theirs to lose. Now that puts pressure on them, but they have the Stewart brothers as a nucleus to help them repeat. And when you have that, when you have some of the same people back, your main nucleus, then you got a great shot.
Well, they put the pressure on themselves at the start of this season, and it came through. We talked with left. Now we're over with right. Roderick, and he's with John Horton.
You got a piece of the net from the state championship season. How does it feel?
Oh, it's good, man. This is something I'm going to cherish for the rest of my life. And hopefully we're going to be here. I'm guaranteeing we're going to be right back here doing the same thing next year because our team's going to be a lot better. We got two big centers coming in, 6'10" center and 6'7" center. So we have a good team next year.
I talked to your brother about the pressure all season long that you guys were ordained the kings of the court. Before the season ever started, everybody expected somebody's going to bump off Beach. nobody was able to do it, and you're the state champion.
I mean, the more and more everybody said somebody was going to bump us off, it made us play even harder. I mean, the first 3 games of state, it was Nate's show because he's a leader on the team, so he stepped up and showed that he was a leader, and I had to step up tonight in the championship and show that I was a leader too.
Just talk about the feeling of the fans, the community at Rainier Beach, the way that they've supported you all season long.
Well, I mean, our fans, they've been here from day one. That's one of the reasons. I think that's the reason we won state. You can't win without no supporting fans. So, I give thanks to all the fans that supported us all through the year.
Mark it down now. He guarantees they're going to be back here next year. Wouldn't doubt it, guys. Back to you.
Thanks very much, John. Again, Rainier Beach with the victory over Mercer Island. And I had the Stewart brothers are the real deal, and you say there's some other guys who could make this squad just as impressive next season.
Well, I think there's some guys waiting in the wings to come in to help them. Yeah. And, you know, when you've got a successful program, I said success breeds success. And that's what's happened with Mercer Island over the years. And now you got Rainier Beach trying to build their own dynasty.
So sometimes the only difference at the state of Washington between the 3A and the 4A levels is just the number of students, the classification to school. The talent's incredible at this level as well.
You know, I was going to make that point in the fact that when it first happened, I'm glad to see the fact that it gives more people an opportunity, but it's so minuscule. There are great players at all levels, and you certainly saw them here tonight.
The Vikings of Rainier Beach, state champions for 2002 in the 3A boys classification. We still have much more to come here from the Tacoma Dome, including recapping this game, getting you set for the girls championship game, also other highlights from around the world of sports. We will continue with our between game activities. It's Rainier Beach, the 3A boys champion, back with more from the Tacoma Dome after this timeout on Fox Sports Net.